What's up, guys? This is Vinay and welcome to Set Up to Win. We've all heard the benefits of minimalism. You live a less stressful life, you can focus on what's important, and you are less burdened by your possessions. Not to mention, you'll probably save a little money. At this point, I don't need to lecture you about how minimalism can streamline your life. But how do you actually get started so that you can apply minimalism into your own life? I've always prided myself on only owning what I need. I took pride in living a simple and streamlined life. Everything from my clothes to the dishes in my kitchen to childhood mementos. I only kept things that had utility or had a strong sentimental meaning to me. Back in the day when COVID first started, I was like many people across the world. I was stuck at home. This was the first time I spent that much time inside the house. Because I had a lot of time to think, I was reminded of something I read a while back. It went something like, look around you at all that clutter. All that clutter used to be money, and all that money used to be time. Remembering that and being surrounded by my things all day, every day, inspired me to get even leaner. I decided to challenge myself by getting rid of at least one thing a day for 30 days straight. And I made a rule. If I came across multiple things to get rid of in a day, I had to get rid of all of them that day. I couldn't save them for the next day. I also decided to tweet about this challenge to hopefully inspire others to join me to do the same in their own lives and to hold myself accountable. This is a challenge that you can do yourself. It's super simple, but I also found it to be spiritually cleansing. It probably would have been a little bit more fun if I did it alongside some friends and family. So just something to keep in mind if you try it yourself. So what did I get rid of? On the first day, I found this old tube of medicine called Volini. I bought it when I traveled to India a long time ago. It's basically an Indian version of Bengay. Turns out this tube was expired for 8 years. I also got rid of an old prescription bottle, and I found an unused wallet to get rid of. I have no idea where the wallet was from, but it was nice and hopefully found a good home. On the second day, I went into my attic and found these old boxes from phones and some Fitbits. When I was younger, I'd collect magnets when I visited new places. I have a pretty good collection, and I have a nice memory associated with all of them. But I found a few that I had no idea where they came from. One was a bottle opener from, I guess, England, and another was a shell magnet. So I got rid of those. On the fourth day, I found this mouse in one of our drawers. The USB dongle that went with it was lost, so I couldn't really use it anymore. On the fifth day, I again made my way into the attic. This time I found a brace that I used during my recovery from knee surgery many years ago. It served me well, but I had no more use for it. I also found this old figurine. A friend of mine brought it back from Toledo, Spain. I think that's how you pronounce it, many years ago. I displayed it for many years, but it broke down over time and I couldn't ever figure out how to put it back together. Funny story with this, there was a college kid from my neighborhood who was helping me with some yard work. It turns out that his dad went on a Mormon mission to Toledo, Spain. So he was super happy to take it off my hands, and it looks like they figured out how to fix the figurine. I traveled to Iceland a long time ago, way before it was popular. Back then, most people in my life were super confused on why I would travel to such a remote, random, and unknown place. But I bought these sheep's wool gloves there. I used them pretty much every day during the cold months for many years when I was living in the Midwest. But they wore down over time and I couldn't really use them anymore. I also found this Neutrogena sunscreen that was expired for 6 years. On the seventh day, I found this Lenovo docking station that I had no use for. After tweeting this, an old friend of mine from college who lived in Atlanta told me that he could use it. So I ended up shipping it to him for him to use. On the 8th day, I found a water bottle carrier case that I only used once. It was actually purchased from an uncle's friend's daughter who was trying to get her business off the ground. I know it's super random, but I always try to help people who chase their dreams and want to start a business. It takes a lot of courage, time, and energy. New businesses need all the help they can get. On the 9th day, I got rid of these 3 books. One was about finding your natural strengths. I read it once and wouldn't read it again. Another book was about business stories. I never read the book, but my focus with reading has become super focused on certain topics over the years. And this book was a little too general for my taste. And the 3rd book was about Warren Buffett. Again, I didn't read it, even though I find Buffett fascinating. But I've studied him enough, so I got to the point of diminishing returns with knowledge about Warren Buffett. On the 10th day, I made it back into the attic. I found this old canvas bag from who knows where. It was in great condition, so hopefully it's being used by someone. I also found a planner from 2016 from Rifle Paper Company that was never used, and an old yoga DVD. I didn't even have a way to play the DVD, so it wasn't really usable. Later in the day, I found this tub of Vicks Vapor Rub that was expired for 5 years. Seems like I need to audit my medicine cabinet more often. By the time day 11 rolled around, things started to get really challenging. I had to dig and dig to find things to get rid of. I found this old handmade stone box that I got when I traveled to India as a teenager. And as an honorable mention, on day 11, I didn't exactly get rid of something, but I started using these wool dryer balls from this company called Norwex, which is focused on more environmentally friendly cleaning products. These are meant to replace dryer sheets, which if you research are really not good for you. So you can say I got rid of dryer sheets in my life. On the 12th day, I went through my stack of business cards and got rid of the ones I would never need again. On day 13, I found this old comforter I bought when I was broke and working my first job out of college. It was super low quality, but it was pretty much all I could afford at that time. I held on to it for years because it reminded me of those early days when I didn't have much. On the 14th day, I got rid of these old UGG slippers. I got them nearly 8 years ago as a Christmas present and wore them like crazy around the house during the winter. I actually tagged UGG in my tweet and they replied saying how happy they were that they lasted so long. And of course, I bought a replacement pair. On day 15, I went through my pens and highlighters and got rid of the ones that didn't really work that well anymore. I also found some old keychains that I wouldn't use. A few of them were from my recent car purchase that, funny enough, Costco helped me buy. On day 16, I found this peacock-styled magnetic storage box that looks like a book. A neighbor was super happy to take it from me. Again, I have no idea how it made its way into my house. And I'm a huge fan of whiteboards. I invested in a huge one where I can keep track of all the things going on in my life. It came with this magnetic timer for some reason. I couldn't ever see a way where I would use it, so I got rid of it. On day 17, I dug through a coat closet and found these old shoe polishes and furniture markers that were dried out. I also dug into my attic again and found some couch armrest covers that weren't being used. On a side note, I also donated the couch in recent months. One of my best friends from grad school was from Tokyo. When we graduated, he moved back to Japan and he left me a bunch of random things, including this red bowl. I used it for years until it finally broke. I glued it back together and used it for coins and small things like that, but eventually I no longer needed it. And I grew up in a place where NASCAR was super popular. I got this at a flea market near my house that I used to ride my bike to as a kid. This is a commemorative 1986 Richard Petty Pepsi bottle with the soda still in it. On day 20, I got rid of this contraption that I bought where you can put a baseball hat in it and wash the hat in the dishwasher. It's meant to maintain the shape of the hat, but it didn't really work for me. On day 21, I got rid of this pet drinking fountain my cat used for years. The motor went out and it was actually cheaper to buy an entirely new fountain. I also went through our pantry and found this expired cashew butter and expired ghee. On day 22, I found this old clunker of a laptop. I bought it for grad school and it served me well for many years, but it wouldn't even power on. I never remembered it being as heavy as it was. Technology has definitely improved over the years. On day 23, I dug through my pantry again. I got rid of this jar of expired dulce de leche spread I bought on a trip down to Colombia. I also found this random assortment of expired items in there. And I found this magnet thing that you could use to hide a key in. Really didn't have any use for that anymore. On day 24, I found this liquid dispenser that I used for years for olive oil. I also got rid of this expired Hershey's cocoa powder, some old sponges, an instruction DVD for my Vitamix blender. Again, I don't have a way to play DVDs. And also some correspondence from my old Volkswagen turbo diesel that was recalled because of the Volkswagen diesel scandal. On day 25, I found these 2 old notebooks. I've used a notebook to keep track of ideas, to-do lists, and things like that for years. I also gave this stack of stickers to some of my nephews and nieces. I found this Venetian mask that I bought from Vegas years ago. It's great quality, but not my style anymore. I also got rid of these old headphones from a Delta flight and this mesh bag from who knows where. On day 27, I got rid of these cardboard cat scratching blocks. My cat only used it for a little while before getting tired of them. On day 28, I dug through the pantry again and tossed out some old supplements and some empty bottles. I also threw out some expired bug bite ointment. By day 29, I managed to have worked my way through some Noon hydration tablets, and I got rid of these kelp flakes that are supposed to be a healthy replacement for salt, but we never really used it. And I hate throwing out food, but these bars were from Costco. They were barely expired, but it was COVID, so you really couldn't give them to anyone. And I donated this old Fitbit and USB charger. And finally, day 30, that same Japanese friend I mentioned before bought my cat this ridiculous outfit. I tried multiple times to put it on my cat, but she absolutely refused to wear it. Hopefully, some lucky cat out there is using it now. As you can see, the challenge was super simple. It did require some consistency, but it was a fun experience, and it definitely got me in the mindset of staying lean with my possessions. Please comment below with any thoughts you have about minimalism, or if you've ever done something similar yourself. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and of course subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.